be famous, this is what you ask for. You feel what I'm saying? So you gotta understand when you here and motherfuckers is here and they trying to get to a certain level and they feel like they gotta go through you, the only way they can get your attention is to say, man, I want to smoke with Tank. What's up, Tank? Let's fight. That's the only way they can get your attention.
That's why I said it's not with him. Like ain't no he from the Birds. I'm not from that. I'm going to
what part of the Birds I'm from?
I'm going. I get that information.
Yeah, get that from me. Let me know what it is.
Man, come on.
Get it from me. Get it from me.
You're his brother.
Ain't that bro right there? You were saying ain't that bro right there?
What?
Right there. Ain't that bro?
What about him?
Once you say bro gonna vouch for me, bro. You say bro vouch for you. You said I was scared.
I didn't. Oh yeah.
For the sparring.
Yeah.
So how you gonna say bro? How you gonna say my bro vouching for me?
Because I know somebody. I know somebody.
All right, that's cool.
I mean, the reality is
I know somebody.
I seen from the suburbs, from the ghetto ass.
Not this.
June 15th, we got a big fight coming up. A lot of people online are always talking about Tank doesn't fight for the belts. Tank is actually a champion at lightweight. Let's be clear. The WBA champion. So this is a championship fight at the lightweight division for the WBA belt. We got Gervonta Tank Davis taking on, Abdul Wahid, a.k.a. Gervonta Tank Davis, taking on Frank Martin. What do you think happens in this fight, Dub?
I mean,
what round do you got the knockout in?
Thank you. Man, I got it going to 6, man. It'll go to the 6th round. Okay. I think once Tank gets in, he takes the first few rounds again to compute, kind of just figure out. I mean, he's already strategizing before he gets in the ring through video preparation and such like that. But it's one thing to watch a video, but it's another thing to get in the ring and actually be in front of your opponent, another warrior, and they already been analyzing you. So you have to be able to compute what they're trying to do to you and then how to counter that, right? So I think Tank does a really good job of processing. And once he processes that other opponent, most of the time it's a knockout, like by 6, maybe 7. But I don't think this is going to last too long. Shout out to Frank Martin, great boxer, still very young guy in his career. I definitely think that he has a lot to offer, but this is just not going to work out too well for him.
Yeah, for sure. I think, one of the things that I've noticed with Tank when it comes to the fights that he's been in more recently, Tank takes a lot of punishment early in the fight. Again, he goes through this process of downloading, seeing exactly what the fighter is doing, and then begins to track or stalk the opponent later in the fight. Similar to what you will see in the wild when you look at, a tiger hunting, so to speak, and tracking down that prey. I think if Frank Martin has a chance to win this fight, which he does, it's still a boxing match. The fight still has to happen. If he has a chance to win this fight, what he's going to have to do is really take chances in those early rounds, really land some big punches on Tank in those first 4 or 5 rounds, so that on the cards he's up. So if he can win, when we're talking about the first 5 rounds, if Frank wins 3 out of 5 of those rounds, right, and you're going into the 6th or 7th round and he's up on the cards, at that point, if he can just avoid the knockout and he can trade shots with Tank, avoid taking the big shot, and really get on the inside and fight with Tank, he has a chance to win this fight. I don't think he can knock Tank out. I don't think we see a situation like that. But we could see a situation where he wins those early rounds. He continues to, again, remain active throughout the later rounds. And then in the championship rounds, he doesn't fade away, but he's able to hang in there with Tank. I think that would be his best approach to a win. But again, it's hard to beat the champion when you got to go to the cards. And I just don't see that happening. I don't see the fight going that way. That is the way that I think he could win, but I just don't see that happening. Again, I think Tank is going to give a couple of those first, rounds, lose a couple of those, whether it's the first, second, third round. And then when we get closer to those championship rounds, around round 7, around 8, I think he's really going to turn up the pressure, turn up the heat. And I think we could see Frank Martin's corner saving him from what could be, a devastating knockout and possibly throwing that towel in.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I definitely think when you talk about taking it to the later rounds and winning by decision or trying to win by decision, if you do not definitively beat the champ, it has to be apparent that you beat the champion. You're not going to win.
Like
It,
like like Usyk did the Fury this past weekend.
right. Yeah, get in those comments, people. Get in the comments. You were coming at us about our prediction, talking about it's not it's a maybe. Like, dude, like we saw what we saw. We felt as if Usyk was going to be Fury. We had great rationale as to why we thought he was going to beat him. Now let us have our opinion. You can have yours in the
And
comments.
everything we said happened.
Everything happened, but
Everything we said happened.
kept saying he didn't
Literally.
look right. His body language was off. His eye, I could still his eye was still damaged, man. He shouldn't have took that fight,
Sure.
man. He shouldn't have took that fight. Should have just stayed retired. Now he got a blemish on
Yeah.
his record.
But I respect it as a champion taking the fight and being willing to fight it. And again, to Tank's going back to Tank with Frank Martin, a lot of people were saying Tank is dodging Shakur, or he's dodging Devin Haney, or this or that. I think Frank Martin is a formidable opponent. I do think that
Sure.
this is a good fight to take. This is a good fight where you have a young, hungry guy who isn't a slap. Frank Martin is a solid fighter. I think he's going to bring the fight to Gervonta. I think he's confident. But again, everybody's got a plan until that jaw gets touched. And when it does, it's a different story. Pause on that. But everybody
I was
got a plan until that happens.
Hey, I was just laughing at, like, again, when I watch people fight Tank and he started getting in there and getting them body shots, and then he hit him with that hook and then hit that jaw, and you just kind of see, like, whoa, like, this boy thumping.
It's
So
devastating. It's devastating when
yeah,
that jaw
bro,
gets touched.
he be thumping. So, like, I just think that when you talk about being undefeated, and I know we're getting ready to put a bow on there on this, there's a lot of mystique that comes with being undefeated. Everybody wants to see you lose. And so with Fury, and I know we're talking about Davis and Martin, but, like, when you take that loss, man, like, people definitely want to see how you're going to recover from that loss. But now it's like you got a question mark on you. Now you took the L. You should have just stayed retired, bro.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll see. In that fight, we got a huge rematch coming up in the fall.
Oh,
That's going to be exciting. Dub and I'll definitely get on that, give you our thoughts on that rematch. I'll go ahead and give you a preview. I'm going with Usyk again because I told everybody he was tailor made for Fury. When it comes to just their strengths and weaknesses. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited that we continue to get huge fights.